The history of the real Pirates of the Caribbean is a rich and complex narrative that spans several centuries, marked by adventure, rebellion, and the pursuit of wealth. While modern media often romanticizes pirates as swashbuckling adventurers with flamboyant attire and a thirst for treasure, the reality was far more nuanced. The Golden Age of piracy, which occurred between the late 17th and early 18th centuries, saw the rise of infamous pirates who operated in the Caribbean, Atlantic, and beyond. These pirates were not just fictional characters but real men and women who lived by their own rules, challenging empires and amassing fortunes through plunder and violence. The origins of Caribbean piracy. Caribbean became a hotspot for piracy. Due to its strategic location and the wealth flowing through the region, following Christopher Columbus's voyages in the late 15th century, European powers like Spain, England, France, and the Netherlands established colonies in the Caribbean, exploiting its resources and establishing trade routes. The Spanish, in particular, amassed vast amounts of gold, silver, and other treasures from their colonies in the Americas, which they shipped back to Europe via the Caribbean. These treasure-laden ships became prime targets for pirates. Initially, many pirates were privateers legally sanctioned by their governments to attack enemy ships during times of war. However, when wars ended, privateers often turned to piracy, using their skills and ships to plunder vessels indiscriminately. The Golden Age of piracy is divided into three distinct periods. 1. The buccaneering era. The early phase of piracy in the Caribbean was dominated by buccaneers, who were primarily based on the island of Hispaniola. These buccaneers were initially hunters and outcasts who later turned to piracy. They targeted Spanish ships and settlements, often with the tacit approval of rival European powers like England and France. Famous buccaneers include Henry Morgan, who famously sacked Panama City in 1671.2, the Pirate Round. During this period, pirates expanded their operations beyond the Caribbean, venturing into the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea. They targeted ships carrying wealth from the East Indies and the Mughal Empire. Pirates like Henry Avery and Thomas Chew became legendary for their exploits during this time. 3. The post-Spanish succession period. This was the height of the Golden Age of piracy, marked by the rise of infamous pirates like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, and Anne Bonny. The end of the War of the Spanish Succession left many privateers unemployed, leading to a surge in piracy. These pirates operated with near impunity, establishing bases in the Bahamas and other Caribbean islands. The post-Spanish succession period. This was the height of the Golden Age of piracy, marked by the rise of infamous pirates like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, and Anne Bonny. The end of the War of the Spanish Succession left many privateers unemployed, leading to a surge in piracy. These pirates operated with near impunity, establishing bases in the Bahamas and other Caribbean islands. Famous pirates of the Caribbean. 1. Blackbeard, perhaps the most famous pirate of all time. Blackbeard was known for his fearsome appearance and ruthless tactics. He operated around the West Indies and the eastern coast of the American colonies, capturing numerous ships and amassing a fortune. His reign of terror ended in 1718 when he was killed in a battle with British naval forces. 2. Anne Bonny and Mary Read. Anne Bonny and Mary Read, two of the most famous female pirates, Anne Bonny and Mary Read, defied the norms of their time by joining pirate crews disguised as men. They fought alongside male pirates and gained notoriety for their bravery and ferocity. Both were eventually captured and tried, but their fates remained shrouded in mystery. 3. Henry Morgan, a Welsh privateer turned pirate. Henry Morgan became famous for his daring raids on Spanish settlements, including the sack of Panama City. Later in life, he was knighted and appointed lieutenant governor of Jamaica, a testament to the blurred lines between piracy and legitimacy. 4. Bartholomew Black Bart Roberts, one of the most successful pirates of the Golden Age. Black Bart captured over 400 ships during his career. He was known for his strict code of conduct and his ability to evade capture for years. He was eventually killed in a battle with the Royal Navy in 1722.5. Calico Jack. Calico Jack is best known for his association with Anne Bonny and Mary Read. He was captured in 1720 and executed. But his legacy lives on, through the iconic Jolly Roger flag he popularized. Pirate life and culture of pirates lived by their own rules, often creating democratic societies aboard their ships. Captains were elected by the crew, and decisions were made collectively. Pirates also adhered to a code of conduct, which outlined rules for sharing plunder, resolving disputes, and punishing offenses. Despite their lawless reputation, pirates were often more egalitarian than the societies they came from. Pirates were also known for their distinctive symbols, such as the Jolly Roger flag, which was used to intimidate their victims. The flag typically featured a skull and crossbones or other macabre imagery, signaling that the pirates would show no mercy. The end of the Golden Age of piracy came to an end in the early 18th century as European powers cracked down on piracy. The British Royal Navy in particular launched a concerted effort to hunt down and eliminate pirates. Governments also offered pardons to pirates who surrendered, leading many to abandon their lawless ways. The capture and execution of prominent pirates like Blackbeard and Black Bart marked the decline of piracy in the Caribbean. By the 1730s, the era of the real pirates of the Caribbean had largely come to an end, though their legends continued to captivate the imagination of people around the world. The legacy of the pirate as real pirates of the Caribbean left an indelible mark on history and popular culture. Their exploits have been romanticized in literature, film, and folklore, from Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island to the Pirates of the Caribbean movie franchise. While their lives were often brutal and short, pirates represented a spirit of rebellion and freedom that continues to resonate today. The history of the real pirates of the Caribbean is a testament to the complex interplay of greed, adventure, and resistance that defined this tumultuous period. Their stories remind us of a time when the high seas were a lawless frontier, and a few daring individuals could challenge the might of empires. The buccaneering era was characterized by the activities of buccaneers, who were initially hunters and outcasts living on the island of Hispaniola. These buccaneers turned to piracy as a means of survival and revenge against the Spanish, who had driven them from their settlements. The buccaneers formed a loose coalition known as the Brethren of the Coast, which operated under a democratic system with elected captains and shared plunder. One of the most famous buccaneers was Henry Morgan, who led successful raids on Spanish settlements like Portobello and Panama City. Morgan's exploits earned him a knighthood and the position of lieutenant governor of Jamaica, highlighting the blurred lines between piracy and legitimacy during this period. The Pirate Round saw pirates expanding their operations beyond the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea. Pirates like Henry Avery and Thomas Chew targeted ships carrying wealth from the East Indies and the Mughal Empire, amassing vast fortunes in the process. The Pirate Round was marked by daring voyages and the establishment of new trade routes. As pirates sought to bypass European monopolies and tap into the wealth of the East, the post-Spanish succession period was the height of the Golden Age of piracy, marked by the rise of infamous pirates like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, and Anne Bonny. The end of the War of the Spanish Succession left many privateers unemployed, leading to a surge in piracy. These pirates operated with near impunity, establishing bases in the Bahamas and other Caribbean islands. The Pirate Republic, centered in Nassau, Bahamas, became a haven for pirates, offering a democratic and egalitarian society where plunder was shared equally among the crew. However, the increasing threat from European navies and the decline of Spanish treasure fleets led to the eventual suppression of piracy in the Caribbean. The decline of piracy in the Caribbean was driven by several factors, including the end of wars, the rise of powerful navies, and the changing nature of global trade. European powers like Britain and France launched concerted efforts to hunt down and eliminate pirates, offering pardons to those who surrendered and executing those who resisted. By the 1730s, the Golden Age of piracy had come to an end, and the once thriving pirate havens like Nassau and Port Royal were transformed into legitimate colonial settlements. The legacy of the real pirates of the Caribbean, however, continues to captivate our imagination, reminding us of a time when the high seas were a lawless frontier and a few daring individuals could challenge the might of empires.